Hello, everybody. Welcome to Minecraft on the Block and a new series. At least it will at least be one episode. I can promise you that. I can't promise any more than that. I'm hoping it will be, but I'm going to call this, I think, the Lab, and I'll talk a little bit about what that means and why. But before I get into that, I wanted to kind of, well, first off, let me set the stage. I just started playing here. I've done a little bit of resource gathering and just kind of looking around. The spawn is literally like right there somewhere. And I was happy with this. I just kind of bumped in. There's a town over there somewhere. I thought we could see it a minute ago, and then it went out of view. Let's see. Anyway, there's a village. And a couple of, what other interesting things? Oh, well, there's a couple of actually kind of cool things. So there's a spawner. I got killed twice by zombies, like a horde of zombies already, because there's a spawner right over here. And I finally found it at some point. I can't remember when. Let's see. Oh, it's down here, actually. Yeah, right here. So anyway, found a zombie spawner to start with. Anyway, this is going to be the home. So I'm going to do a couple of things. My first project, well, let me talk a little bit about what I plan on doing here, and then I'm going to talk about OneCraft, because some of you guys probably are here wondering about OneCraft. So what I'm going to do, I've just been jonesing to do another series with Feed the Beast. I mean, you guys know I love Feed the Beast, and I just kind of miss it. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and do one, and especially when I watch watch Etho. I haven't really been watching that much, except Etho. I've kind of gotten to the point where I don't know why. I definitely still enjoy BWO some. I also started watching. Circaz told me about the Terra Firma Craft series that Generic B started, so I'm going to watch that for sure. But as far as Feed the Beast goes, I mean, like I said, I like watching Generic B a little bit and the B team stuff, but I really just watch Etho pretty much exclusively now, just because I don't have as much time, and he's the only one that I didn't even used to like Etho. But anyway, I was trying to figure out exactly what it is about him that I like. I mean, there's two things that really stick out to me. One, he doesn't do a lot of high production stuff. Hold on, taking a drink. Like that. He doesn't do a lot of super production. He does some cuts, and he'll do some like music every once in a while, but he doesn't put a lot of time and effort into that. And I appreciate that, because I like to see that it can be done well without doing it, because I just don't have the time. I think, I'm not doing this for a living, and I don't expect to get tons of viewers. So I prefer to put the time and effort into actually playing the game. Excuse me. And I think you guys would probably rather see that. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, just the way that he always has a project going, always something interesting. I think what I like the most is the way he plays makes me want to play. Not really so much that it entertains me, but I'm like, man, I want to play and I want to do that. So I'm going to try to be a little more focused and have a project of some sort going all the time. We might switch back and forth, but just not randomly running around. So anyway, our first project is going to be, we're going to work up to this place called the Lab. And I realized that probably right off the bat, that's a little bit, people are going to accuse me of copying Etho or something because he has Etho's Lab. But really, the idea came, I realized that after I decided that I was going to do it, but the idea came more from wanting to have a place where a really cool building that was really well organized and well equipped, where I could do and had an area specifically, like a really big area specifically for building things and experimenting and figuring out how things will work when you put them, take them somewhere. So like prefabbing stuff or prototyping or stuff like that. So that's what the lab is going to be, and we'll work on that actual building. This is going to be the workshop. So my phases are going to be, I'm going to have a workshop here, which will be a part of my mine, which is down there. And I haven't really started the mine, but there's also a marsh over here. About 200 blocks that way, which is actually really cool. I dig the marsh, but I'm going to turn it into a giant, Now that I think about it, I don't know if a marsh is a great place to do a. Well, I guess it is. I was going to say I wasn't sure if it was a great place to do a quarry, but that'll probably be where I put my quarry or quarries, and this will be the workshop, and then probably down there, somewhere in the desert, or maybe not, maybe somewhere else, but relatively close in this area will be the actual lab, and then we'll do things all over the place. So instead of just running around in circles like I'm doing, let's go do a little adventuring. I think I need to get some wood. I'm going to make another bed. I also feel like things are a little laggy. Not sure what I did. I was running pretty good before. This is the reason I'm a little further along than I would like to be before I brought you guys in. Is because I recorded one. It's been so long since I recorded, and I really apologize for that. It's been so long since I recorded that I had basically forgotten how to do it. And I recorded using the wrong mic. I was actually talking into one mic, and there was another mic that was that was actually capturing the sound. So I wasn't recording on the proper device. But, that's the way it goes. So... And it wasn't a very good episode anyway, because it was my first one back. As you can imagine, it was slightly lackluster. Where is that steel axe? I found a steel axe. I'll take that with me. Leave the cobblestone here. Made a couple of barrels already. I'm just trying to get a little bit of a organization going. So let's see. Yeah, so the other important thing that I wanted to talk about is OneCraft. So... some of you probably came looking for OneCraft. I've had a lot of people asking me to do this, so start a new one of these series, but I've also had a lot of people asking about OneCraft. And I totally fell off the map, and I apologize. It wasn't a cool way to just leave you guys hanging. But I guess probably some of you expected it, since that's seems to be what I do. But I'm not sure how long this is going to last. Like I said, I really just do this until I'm not having fun, or until, if it's stressing me out or something, I don't want to do it. And it kind of was. The OneCraft thing, the reason that I bailed on that a little bit, and you haven't heard anything from me, is because I'm changing my approach. So, a lot of you guys, like I said, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I tend to overdo things, or whatever, and change my mind quite a bit, and things flop around a lot. And I with OneCraft, what I did was decided that I wanted to try and learn Minecraft. That was really my goal with OneCraft, or not Minecraft, modding was my goal with OneCraft, was really just to learn modding. And I should get some shears. I'm sorry. I keep going back and forth. And so to do that, I picked a pretty broad scope for the mod that I wanted to make, so that it would allow me to have, and I broadened the scope every time I felt like I wanted to learn something different or whatever. So broadening the scope really allowed me to do a lot of different things, but it also made it really hard to solidify. I mean, for my first mod, it was pretty ambitious. And I think to my credit, I did a pretty decent job getting some stuff together. I mean, there's some potential there still, I think. But I think I need to really probably I just don't think it will come out quick enough for it to be, I don't know, for me to see the real benefit to other people. And if I don't see the real benefit to other people, then I'm going to kind of quit or not be excited if I can't get other people excited and playing it. And I just hadn't even gotten to the point yet where people were playing. So, so anyway, long story short, I think what I'm going to do is play Feed the Beast, because the other thing about that mod was that I was kind of approaching it from the direction or from the standpoint of wanting to have a mod that basically was kind of cradle to grave everything. It wasn't a Minecraft conversion, but it was definitely more than just a single little mod that would play well with other mods. It was meant more for, wow. This happens periodically. The world just disappears. I'll be right back. All right, I think we're good. It's hard to tell though, because and it's getting a little laggy. I might have to log back out. I've had some issues getting performance going again. I don't know if something has changed. I haven't played Feed the Beast in so long. There's a ton of, I think I might have already said this, these volcanoes. There's like a whole ridge of them. I guess it might be this forest. Huh. I'm going to take this lava. Interesting. Yeah, this is bad. I'm gonna have to quit and come back. Yeah, there's a ton of them. I don't know if this is different, but there's like this one, there's at least 3 more. So maybe it's kind of like, maybe there's like volcanic, maybe it's a fault line or something. That's what they're trying to do. Anyway, let me quit and come back. I'll quit the game entirely. I'll be right back. All right, seems better. We'll see. As soon as I started recording, it probably started getting choppy. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know where I was at, but as far as the mod, I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to incorporate a lot of the same ideas. I think I'll probably stick with I'll probably keep the concept of the meteor strike. I really like that. I mean, that was always kind of one of the things at the core of my original mod. I'll probably keep that in some way. I think what I'm going to try to do is pick a much smaller scope, though. Something just cool like forestry. I mean, it'd be hard to call forestry small scope, but forestry is just a pretty single specific thing. It does a lot, and it's evolved quite a bit, but it's not like you just get forestry and you get everything in the game. Ooh, crud. That was kind of scary. It's not like just the only thing that you need. It's not one of those mods that can just do everything. Whereas I would say with red power, that's kind of true. I mean, you would be missing a lot of stuff. So anyway, instead of trying to just replace what's going on in the other mods and be my own mod, I'm going to try to play a little bit better with them, with the other mods. I think I'm also going to, like I said, narrow the scope of what I'm trying to do, try to figure out some really cool things, and then let it grow. I mean, maybe eventually it'll be one of those huge mods that does everything, but I'm going to start with a smaller scope, and that's going to mean I need some ideas, so any input you guys have would be helpful. Oh, nice. I always like let's go see a forest fire. I always like forest fires. So that's one thing, and what I'll probably do is keep this going and test it using this series. So if I get my mod, I'll just install it and test it using this series. That's really wild. Where is that coming from? Let's go check it out. That's a pretty wicked lava flow. So yeah, so I will let you know when I get something going, and like I said, I'll test it in this series and we'll go from there. So, no, seriously, what is that? That's like a real volcano. Do they have those now? I mean, is that like an eruption or something? That's awesome. Okay, the other thing that I was going to tell you that was interesting, or at least I thought was interesting, is that I have been working on... one of the reasons that I kind of got sidetracked with my game, frankly, is because I started thinking that I might want to make my own game from scratch. And so I started down that path, and... oh, it is. But I'm not sure... wow. It's just... wow. That's wild. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. It's basically... this is supposed to be a volcano. It had trouble spawning in, and so the lava is really the only substantial thing about the volcano that's here. That's interesting. It's kind of cool, for sure. We'll keep that around. I don't know if I've ever seen a lava flow like that naturally. Okay. So I was going to make a game of my own. That was actually fun. So what I did is I decided, I think I've talked to you guys about this before multiple times, but I decided that I was going to try to make a game, and I wanted to do it totally from scratch, make a game engine and everything. And so I've started a couple of times down the path of making a game engine. And this latest time I made a little bit more progress than I had before. And then I realized that there was a couple of things out there that might help, like I found the Unity. Well, I tried a couple of things before the Unity framework. I tried JMonkey or something like that, or a couple of interesting and really they had a lot of potential. I think actually could have probably made some of them work. And then I found the Unity framework and really got excited about the possibilities of that, because there's just a lot of stuff that I don't have to do myself, but that I still would get, I could still be pretty free to do whatever I wanted. And then, there's still the potential if I want to later on to learn some of that stuff, but you don't have to write your own game engine every time to have your own unique game and do the things you want to do. Although you are somewhat limited. I just think, it was legitimate enough. Hold on. All right, I'm back. That's kind of cool. Right there. Anyway, so it's definitely legit. I mean, there's lots of games out there that have been built with it. It supports. I mean, it would be hard to say that it doesn't support everything you want to do. So I started down that path, and again, I was kind of on trying to just figure out, what I wanted to, what kind of a game I wanted to make, and is it possible to do the things that I was trying to do and all that. And did I have any good ideas, and could I learn it quickly enough? And so anyway, I started doing that, came up with a couple of interesting ideas for games and prototyped a little bit with it. One of the ideas was something where you would start with, I actually had kind of two ideas that were similar, but really completely opposite. One of them was, is that sandstone? That's cool. One of them, oh my goodness, that was a bad place to be. Wow. The pit of despair. One of the ideas was that you would start on this block, like maybe something like a 10 by 10 area or something like that, or 100 by 100 maybe even, I don't know, something relatively small, but not too small, not like Skyblock where you start with a single one or whatever. But, sorry, excuse me, you would, randomly things would start to like just kind of fall into the world. And there would be two things. One, it would be really dark at night, like nighttime would be pitch black. And another interesting thing would be that these, you would just kind of get stuff randomly falling into the world, and there may be other islands that would like come in time, periodically. You would see new islands as you were able to like expand your island. Maybe you could see one or two to start off with. Anyway, the idea was that you would go through and you would kind of do all of this kind of puzzle solving and stuff like that. Anyway, it ended up not going very far. I didn't have a lot of legs. I didn't really fall in love with it, and I didn't take it very far. Excuse me. So then I came up with another idea where you would start with, instead of starting in a small island or something, you would start in a giant world, like a full-size Minecraft world that would just always be generating. But the difference would be that it would just be completely solid. Wow. There's a nice ravine. I wonder if I should mark that. But the world would be completely solid. And then as you would reveal the world to sunlight, so you would start buried some amount, and as you would like dig your way around and reveal the world to sunlight, you would, sorry, I don't know why I've got a cough. The blocks, whatever the like material that the world was made out of by default would start to, this sucks. Let's just try this. I'll stay with you. Would start to, I know I spelled that wrong, Arc Industries, but spelled it wrong. As you revealed the world to sunlight, the blocks would start to change, and like biomes would be revealed, or you would have some influence maybe on what they were, and plants would start to grow, and things would happen, and it would basically be, you would create the terrain and the environment and the world and the biomes by the choices you made and the things you did. And I still think that might be kind of a cool idea. I'm not exactly sure. I like I said, I did a little bit of prototyping where I had like kind of just a basic, and I just couldn't catch any real vision that I was just like totally blown away by. So I think I'm gonna have to quit again. This is insane. It's like every time it does that, I wonder what my memory usage is like. Let me, ooh, a village. I need a village. I need some bookshelves is what I really need. Is this just a regular village? All right, we'll go check that out. Let me quit and come back. All right, let's try again. Anyway, so that game that I was talking about with the world being revealed, all that was interesting, and I just kind of gave up, didn't love the idea. But I learned some stuff there, and then a couple of other interesting, I think I went through a couple of other iterations of trying some stuff. One of them, I had this idea about a game like a space game. Man, I'm sorry. I've just got this cough. I can't get something out of my throat. This idea of like a space game where there would be islands that would randomly generate, and you would fly around into these giant places, or this giant universe, and go like all over the place. It was an interesting concept. I don't think I could have done it right. Plus, I think Notch is working on that space game, so I didn't want to make something that would look silly once he got it. Oh, bookshelves. Yes. So that was that. What else? The other thing I was going to say is, so there's one more game I'm thinking about doing. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But the one that stuck, or the idea that I have stuck with the whole time, is that I want to have a randomly generated world. The idea. What's going on? The idea of trying to build levels constantly and keep up with all that insanity just doesn't appeal to me. I that's not what I want to do. I want to make, and I also don't like games with like stories and a lot of backstory and stuff that are not randomly generated. That are randomly generated. I think it takes away from the world to not really put. I want people to very specifically place blocks, or not blocks, place things and tell me a story, not just kind of give me a story that can be told generically in any environment. I like the environment to tell a lot of the story. So I'm not sure why I was telling you that, except that I just don't love the idea of randomly generated worlds for games like, I don't know, Call of Duty or something like that, right? But I do like it for most other things because I just hate I hate the idea of building a bunch of levels. I'd rather put that time and effort into building. Is this a Thaumcraft? No, it's not. Put that time and effort into building, the assets for the game and the game itself and the rules and things like Minecraft that end up being cool because it's your story. The world's randomly generated, but you develop it, and it doesn't have a story that it has to support. Oh, nice. Another library. That's perfect. So anyway, so that was one thing. I did put a lot of time into trying to figure out random generation, world generation using, heat maps and various things. And so that was fun and interesting, and I think I had some success with that. So there's some of the building blocks. The problem is I get the building blocks, and then I usually just feel like, oh, okay, I got the building blocks. I give up. No reason to do anymore. So hopefully that won't happen this time. But anyway, the one other game that I was thinking about doing is I was going to call it The Hill, and it was going to be something like, I've always been fascinated by, that's kind of cool, let's go over there. I've always been fascinated by the concept of kind of the way they did in Vietnam, where they would drop off a small troop on like a hilltop or something, right in the middle of the enemy, and they would immediately start fortifying, and then they would start flying in more things, more troops, more materials and things to fortify it, and they basically just like construct a stronghold right in the middle of enemy territory and fight from that, just to kind of disrupt things. And that concept I love. Man, it's gonna do it again. Let's see, what can we do to fix this? Let's turn our view distance down a little bit. I don't know if we're memory issues. Go. Okay, that didn't help at all. Oh yeah, it did. At least forced it to redraw. What am I on for? OpenGL's off. It seems to be running okay. Let's try that. See if that was causing us issues. Doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, so anyway, that type of I don't know why I came up with the idea. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm not sure exactly why. It was the way I used to play like Empire Earth and some of those games. Like I used to get myself a base, and then I would put together these logistical processes that would allow me to take a group of dudes, fly them into an area, defend it, like try to fly right into the middle of all the bad guys, and be able to defend it, and then also start to build a base, and basically just end up with like a really sweet, well-defined base in the middle of enemy territory to operate from, that you could defend, and that would stay. What's this Alpine? So I always thought that was a cool idea, and I used to love doing that when I was playing like Empire Earth and stuff, like I said. And I would kind of have them templated, I mean, like you could do it 1,000 different ways, but you learn what works and what doesn't, and what's good for the first phase and the second phase, and what's good to switch the phases up, what kind of things you need to get in there early, and what kind of things can wait. And so anyway, really interesting. And so I thought that might be a cool approach, and so I was thinking, this is really pretty cool. So I was thinking it would be cool to make a game called The Hill where you get dropped into a randomly generated world. I'm not sure if it would be... it might be Minecraft style. For some reason, I guess because I love Minecraft, I'm just so stuck on the style. There's something brilliant about the blocks, placing blocks. I mean, you can just do so much by just everything being square. Everything fits on everything. Materials can act differently, but they all fit because they're all just blocks. And so I like that idea. So I kind of am stuck on that. I find it really hard to break away and think differently than that. You guys probably will judge me for that. I don't know exactly why. Maybe something will come to me and I'll think differently about it. But it's easiest to, it's easiest to generate terrain. It's easiest to do just a lot of things. And so anyway, it would either be maybe like a first person like this, like Minecraft style, or it might be that it would be something more isometric or third person or I mean top down RTS type thing. I kind of think I would like it to be both. I haven't actually played what's that game? I think it's on the iPad or the iPhone, and it's basically like Minecraft, but tower defense, Minecraft defense or something defense, block defense or something like that. And from what I understand is you play that like in a defense, tower defense kind of mode where you play it maybe isometric or third person or isometric or top down or RTS style, and then you can jump into the action and actually fight and be a part of the action. I think that would be cool. So that didn't help us. What could we do? Let's leave that there. Let's try the chunk loading. Maybe that will help. It's not going to even reload. What would force that? I guess we could set this back. That should force a reload of these chunks, I think. Yep, there we go. Anyway, so that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm not sure if that makes sense or if I'm going to stick with that, but that type of game sounds fun to me. I'm just trying to think of something that I could do that wouldn't be like the scope. Again, I gotta be smart enough to limit my scope a little bit on my first attempt. So, maybe somewhat small randomly generated worlds, and some worlds would be easier than others, and it would be something that, you would spend a fair amount of time. You would defend it. Basically it would be a time-based game. How long could you go? Difficulty would ramp up, but not so much that you would play in one sitting. At least I wouldn't think so. I'd want it to be, I really enjoy games that last, and so I would kind of treat it like that. I would want it to be a game that you could play over the course of like maybe a week or a couple of weeks or potentially forever. Find ways to continually make it expandable and whatever. Anyway, so I've just been completely rambling and babbling on about these ideas, and I apologize. But I did get some books, which is really good. I think I got enough to make probably 10 bookshelves or something like that. So we'll do that. I can actually at least get 31 levels. I need to get some of these into a pick. Need to get some diamonds first, though, actually. This is driving me insane. Why is this happening? All right, let me check the time, restart one more time, and then we'll finish up this episode. Hopefully I can get this finished. We'll talk about what we're going to do next. I won't be talking about all of my random crap normally, so you guys won't have to worry about that. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and we're right at 30 minutes. So this will be a good time to wrap up and talk about what we're going to do next time. So anyway, I'm gonna do some resource gathering just to get the basics, the first attempt at resource gathering out of the way, and get us ready to get a workshop. So I see us kind of going workshop and then lab, and then taking lab results out to the field and building cool stuff all around here. And as I said, maybe I'll think of things as I'm playing that I would like to see a mod do, and we can work on that. Probably need to get some cows and stuff. I found some cows, so I probably should go get some wheat, take some cows back. Gonna need those. I just want to get all the potential resource needs taken care of, get all that stuff in place. So I will do that. I'll probably do that, prep all that, get ready to start working on the workshop as far as construction. I know people like to see it actually be built, so I'll work on that, and then we'll go from there. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm sorry it was so much of a ramble fest and me, but I figured I should catch people up because I stopped. Everybody was watching and excited about the OneCraft thing, and then it just kind of went away, and I don't want you guys to think that I just totally forgot about it, but I do think it needs to change direction a little bit. And you guys can tell me what you think. I mean, you could probably convince me that that's not true. I just don't think, I think it'd be so long before we saw anything useful come out of. It's just because whenever I play OneCraft, what I found was I was just missing all of the things that were in other mods. And if all I'm going to do is try and replicate them, recreate them, then it's just no point to it. And really, that's the kind of thing that I would totally do. Just try and replicate, recreate exactly what is already being done in, all of these other mods, because I want it to be. And I mean, part of that is not just because I'm kind of like that, but part of it is because it would just be fun to try and do it myself. It would be fun to know that I could do it. And so now that I've gotten to the point where I learn most of what I need to actually make the mod that I want to make, I feel like I could go back and do a better job of it. I think I could. This is ridiculous. Oh, there we go. No? I think I could do a better job of the code just in general and in organization, and put all the things that I've learned to use, but also I don't feel like I need to do everything now because I've learned enough to feel comfortable that I could do most of the things I need to do. So it's just one of the traits. It's just one of the things about me. You guys will either already know or will learn that I get to where I need to be, knowing that I can do all of the things. And then once I've figured out how and I've learned it, I'm like, oh, okay, next thing, next challenge. So it's annoying. It keeps me from ever actually executing anything to the completion. So hopefully we can keep this series going for a little bit, and we can keep a mod being developed for a little bit and whatnot. So I will talk to you guys next time. Follow me on Twitter, MinecraftOTB. It's a great way to get a hold of me. I mean, if you guys want to bitch at me for changing and stopping and, whatever, or if you just want to encourage, or if you want to give me ideas, whatever, those are all the best way, all of those things that would be best done on Twitter. And Facebook.com/MinecraftOTB, although I don't really read that, or so actually forget that I even said it. Follow me on Twitter. Thumbs up if you liked it. And I really appreciate you guys watching. You're the best fans in the world. And I would like to continue doing this until you guys don't want to watch anymore. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching.